Hello, folks. Welcome to another live stream. It's Thursday, September 19. Talk a little bit today about some recent things I've been doing on the channel, releasing some shorts and things like that. And then I have a new video that I've been working on for a little while that should be coming out on Friday or Saturday, most likely Friday. So I'll talk a little bit about that video. But I welcome your comments and questions. I'll mention I put out a new style of thumbnail, so experimenting with some new things here on the channel. So let me know what you think of that. Is it cheesy? Is it cool? Is it good? I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are. But one thing, I've been a little bit resistant to putting out kind of like flashy sorts of things and all that, because part of my intention on this channel is to really help folks, take a path towards really playing, and that's not always a quick and easy route. So I think with dedication and persistence and kind of consistent practice and guidance, folks can really do great things in learning, and just have a valuable hobby or profession or part-time thing or whatever. But it also affects other people who listen to you, and all the efforts that you've put into learning music, whether it be folks in your family or strangers that you perform for. It's a really kind of valuable thing to do, just kind of in the world. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about a video I put out, one of the shorts I put out earlier this week, which had to do with putting together drop 2 voicings and moving those and playing different inversions. First of all, maybe I'll talk a little bit about what drop 2 is kind of all about, I might say. So if I had this chord, I've talked about this, I think, on previous live streams and stuff. I had this chord, and it sounded great. It's really cool, but it's hard. It's really kind of hard to just lift and plant all the fingers at once on it, right? But so it's maybe less practical, I don't know, to do that, just to kind of grab that, and it's just kind of the typical sort of guitar voicing kind of sound, you might say, but valuable, I think, and worthwhile. But so what I'm getting at is that if you take the second from the highest note, which is where the 2 comes from, and you drop it 1 octave, then that leaves room to play within just 3 frets, right? So this voicing got what? We'll call this 0, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Where these are just 2 from the first finger. So much easier to manage, much easier to kind of grab hold of. So so as a guitar voicing, since we're mostly stacked in fourths here, with the exception of strings 3 and 2, well, which is a major third interval, but then we can reach for this, and it works for us pretty well. So if I kind of survey through these notes, right? If I play these notes here, we can hear that it's the same notes, but we've dropped the second from the highest note one octave. Now you don't have to really kind of go through that every time, and stack these up and create your drop 2 voicing. You can basically go through and work at your positions, kind of scramble it up a little bit. Right, so this note, I'm pushing it up to here. This note goes up to here. This note goes up to here, and this note goes up to here. So take the 4 notes of the chord and just kind of push them over, if you will. Just move them up. And you'll get a good amount of playing out of the middle 4 strings, the top 4 strings. You may not end up playing these types of voicings on the lower 4 strings as much, but to be thorough, I would recommend trying to get everything going. And maybe you want this kind of really thick sound at some moment if it kind of serves the music. Right. But if you're playing, in a group, there's bass and other instruments, it's getting a little thick through these lower strings. So then you might either play way up here, but that leads us into the drop 3 type voicings, where you can play maybe I'm using all C major 7 right now, but you could play a voicing something like this. Now this gets a little dissonant, but sometimes you might want that kind of sound. So drop 3, you're dropping the 3rd from the highest note. So one well known chord here. So this will be a drop 3 voicing. So here, you're taking something like this voicing. Let's see if I can kind of strum it. Maybe not even possible to reach that. I don't think my pinky can reach over there. But that's kind of the point, right? Because this is really tough to do without 2 hands, or to stretch the pinky. So take the 3rd from the highest note over here, and then drop that down an octave. And then you can place this note over on string 4. Drop 3 voicings are really great because you have a little space, right, between the first and the lowest note and the next to the lowest note. So you have some open space to go from there. All right, well, maybe we'll take a little break from all of the theory and voicings and stuff. I want to mention that I put up some mugs on the channel, and I plan to order one myself. This is just kind of a generic Seattle's Best mug. But ultimately, the goal I have, on the little shopping tab, is to have tablature PDFs available, and perhaps backing tracks. I've had a lot of requests for backing tracks and things, and I've been thinking about what I want to do in that respect. And let me know in the comments what your opinion might be on this. But just kind of thinking through how I would construct backing tracks, possibly as a standalone, not accompanied by a PDF or something. I don't know. But if there were some, verbal cues in the backing track, or would that, kind of get annoying for folks playing? I'm not sure. Or maybe I could have two different versions, but I thought, have something like, intro. I could just say, do a count in and say intro. Okay. Melody or the head is coming up in 4 beats, 1, 2, 3, 4. I thought that would kind of be kind of interesting to have backing tracks that maybe guide folks through. Say, okay, well, you're at the top of the form here, top of form, and then second chorus of solos, third chorus. Okay, back to the melody. Okay, play the outro. So those are some thoughts. I think I would really probably need to have those accompanied by a PDF as well, with some basic changes and stuff. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on those, and perhaps I'll do a little noodling here. Playing around there a little bit with the changes to What Is This Thing Called Love. Great tune, Cole Porter, and really good opportunity to work at 2/5 progressions, with a predominant that's minor 7 flat 5. One kind of interesting thing that you can do on this. Let's say you're doing a 2/5 to F minors. So you can go up 3 frets for the 5 chord, and then resolve down. So that's kind of a cool technique, So let's say we have a 2/5 that goes to the C major, but it's kind of that minor 7 flat 5 sound, you know. Same thing here. So it's pretty interesting how that works, and you can, you know, take it apart by, you know, saying, oh, well, okay, we have first inversion, D minor 7 flat 5. So no surprises there, really. We have the third of a D and the flat 7, the root, and the flat 5. Move that same shape up, you know, 3 frets. So now we're thinking in terms of G, right? So then we have the flat 9, flat 13, flat 7, and the third. So kind of cool. So get going, you know, works on any of the root positions or inversions of those chords. So a quick little takeaway and tip there for that. Okay, I want to let folks know if you're rewatching this at a later time, I will be back, or plans, if things go to plan, I will have a Sunday morning live stream. Things may get a little complicated, so we'll see. So make sure you have your notifications turned on and all that to get confirmation on that. But planning to do a consistent Sunday morning live stream. So join me, ask questions, and let me know what you're working on and any stumbling blocks that you're coming across. More and more I've been thinking about inspiring or making efforts to inspire folks to practice and to have effective practice, and think about, you know, the most effective and enjoyable route to making progress, but also just enjoying where you are when you're playing, you know. And that kind of gets into, you're working at playing in your limits at any given time, you know. So for example, noodling around there a little bit, first time on the instrument today so far, hands feel a little bit stiff, you know. So you know, want to, you know, explore and have fun, but, you know, kind of say, okay, this is where my hand is right now, and all that. So always working within the limits, and maybe trying to, of course, push yourself a little bit as well. But a lot of playing, you know, has more to do with doing things that you know and that you hear, and then practice is, you know, having to do more with trying to work at things you can't currently do, and to kind of propel those into your playing. Okay, so upcoming video, I did some recording last night on Footprints by Wayne Shorter. This is going to be a melody video with a short intro with the bass line, and then getting into the melody, and then I'm gonna go through kind of the standard melody video sort of thing that I've been doing in the past. And so we're gonna talk a little bit. I'll talk you through kind of step by step on that video. So keep an eye out on that as we go through. And I'll keep an eye on the chats here if you want to say a quick hello, and let me know what you've been working on and everything. All right, everybody. Well, I'm going to hang out here for another, let's say, about 10 minutes and talk a little bit more about a few things, a few of the shorts that I've been putting out recently. I talked about the hello, Jared. Thanks for joining in. Appreciate your comment. And so talk a little bit about Genji. I just did a short on that, and that's been a really enjoyable tune for me for a really long time. So, I was looking back at some of the videos that I've done in the past, and so I have done a video on Genji, which I believe I'm pronouncing it correct, but it's spelled Dindi. And that's a Carlos Jobim, Antonio Carlos Jobim tune. And so, beautiful tune, and really highly recommend checking that out. I really love the intro, and I don't actually remember if I covered the intro in that video or not. But really nice piece, moving from the E flat, major 7, and kind of doing a little back and forth there, and it's just such a nice shift to go to that C. Right, so it kind of visits the key of C there for a moment, and then ultimately in the key of E flat. So that's a really nice, beautiful tune. I highly recommend working on that one and playing that. A few other things I've been talking about. I've been doing, some podcasting, and one thing that's going to come up in this Footprints tune is some of the voicings sort of in the middle to end part of the form. Right, we have this F sharp minor 7 flat 5, F9 with a sharp 11. Then we have more of a E altered, E7 altered, and then A altered. So I discussed a little bit about how all those kind of things work around. Okay, hello. from Japan. I don't know how to play that tune, so and I don't know if I've heard it or not, but I'll have to check that out. Thanks for writing in. And I'll mention too on the live stream, kind of the thing I'm hoping to gain for the channel and maybe for myself is just more and more detail and idea of what folks are interested in, learning about, and then as far as what I hope to offer and give to subscribers and all that is perhaps some tips on playing and tips on maybe on perspective of practice and all that. So that hopefully gives an idea of what I'm hoping to do as far as the platform of YouTube and sort of the specifics of live streaming and of course in general getting to know folks who follow the channel and that kind of community of guitarists and jazz guitarists playing tunes and things. So that's kind of the big thing there. And I wanted to mention this earlier, but I keep coming across. So I teach private lessons quite a bit, and teach in addition to jazz guitar, popular music, rock music, but also classical guitar. And I keep coming across this quote, which is really nice, and I'm going to just paraphrase it, but it's from the Christopher Parkening book, which has to do with working towards excellence, your own personal excellence, and not so much pursuing or thinking about success, as something that may happen. I'm sure the varying degrees of that, but a lot of that, like he mentions, is kind of external, So I get a lot of folks who come in for the lessons and get frustrated with their playing, or maybe are focused kind of on that success, kind of thing, and it's hard to communicate, but I think this perspective that Christopher Parkening gives is pretty on, just working towards the excellence, versus success, Jared, yeah. Explain comping on Take the A Train. Yeah, I just played this tune at a gig, actually 2 gigs recently. And it's an interesting thing to play as a guitarist on this tune, maybe in a big band setting or whatever setting. Because, guitar is not necessarily a huge part of that Duke Ellington sort of sound, so it that's always kind of in the back of my mind, like what is my role here, so I generally on that tune play usually I play like kind of like a Freddie Green style on that, so I do something like something along those lines. In sort of a big band setting. But if I was in more of like a trio setting playing that tune, I would also oftentimes do more of like smaller voicings. Maybe. Maybe three note voicings, and then when it kind of appropriate, I might play larger voicings or go up higher. There are also just little kind of typical things that you can do, just little walk downs that you can play. Like during the bridge, partway through the bridge, and so that would kind of be my general recommendation. Work on those, like I said earlier, the drop 3 type voicings, and those will get you far through a lot of things, because you can take something like a drop 3. So this is C6, and you could just start removing string 6 altogether. Especially if you're just playing smaller groups, walking bass line or something, and focus on the middle strings 2, 3, and 4. So that's what I would recommend focusing on there. So thanks, Jared, for your question. Really appreciate it. I hope you do join us for future live streams and all that. I believe I did do a video, probably more of a melody video on Take the A Train, but perhaps I'll do a little bit more on a comping kind of video on that tune as well. All right, everybody. Well, I'm going to wrap up here for today. Thanks so much for joining. Thanks for your comments and questions. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. And I will see you all in the next one. Have a great practice session.